now is the perfect time to stay amused. So from Jason and all the good folks here at the studio, we ask you to let us help you stay amused with the world.
Suck a motherfucking dick.
Did you hear that recently?
Yeah, quite.
Where'd you hear it?
Some guy showed me.
The guy showed you it.
He showed me, yeah.
What was his name?
Mickey.
Mickey?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was his name.
Mickey.
You wouldn't know him.
I'm talking about Canon and D, not the parody song.
Oh no, I've known about that.
I know, but where'd you just hear it? Because it's stuck in your head.
Literally, the stand-up I was just listening to, the Owen Benjamin.
Yeah.
Literally, he was playing that at the end of his little song that he sang. Did you not hear it?
No, I didn't.
You missed out then. It definitely happened. It most definitely happened, my dudes, on Wednesday. Or something. Why does it feel like you're so high up?
I
Is
have
that
a
your
longer
natural sitting position?
I have a longer spine than you.
I'm sure you do.
I'm actually slouching right now.
I slouch.
Yeah, that's why
I
you're
try to
even-
correct it by taking lots of... The following comments have been deemed too inappropriate for audiences, even for this podcast. So instead, you'll be listening to the smooth grumblings of me sipping a cold beverage.
No,
That's for sure. Long and girthy.
That's a delicious brew. It's definitely kid-friendly. I definitely wouldn't be drinking beer right now. Be a little counterintuitive, if you know what I mean. Let's get back to the action.
Probably gonna censor that. It's a little too far. Even
Can't-
for our audience.
can't censor real life, man.
That's true. They would find out one way or the other, right?
Yep.
My dudes. You gotta get some coffee in you first. Me too. I'll let this coffee.
You just doing a sound test?
I'm just gonna leave it recording in case something funny happens.
Okay.
So. Is it too early to turn on Christmas music? Definitely, right? Definitely.
I usually wait till mid-November. Just me. I mean, other people play
I
Christmas
wait till
music.
after Thanksgiving. It just feels like you're cheating on Thanksgiving. You start playing Christmas music. It's like you're
It's not quite
You're
the
jumping the
Christmas
gun a
season
little bit,
yet
you know.
for me.
jumping the gun.
People get their Christmas trees up, though.
Apparently in Worcester it is Christmas season, so they put up the Christmas lights on November 1st. I don't know why.
I saw that they put up the tree as well.
They put up the tree?
Yeah.
Dude, I
Davey-
haven't been in downtown Worcester in a couple of days, thanks. I didn't even notice that shit.
Davy Tree hoisted it in. I saw them out there
No
with their
way,
trucks. Yep.
Davey Christmas.
They had like a big tree crane and they kind of just strapped it in and
They
lowered
used
it.
one of the vehicles we decaled.
Nah, it was a shorter one. The front of it was shorter, the cab, but the
Did it
bed-
have their decal on it?
Yeah, it had decals for
So it was
Davy.
probably one that we did.
Maybe, yeah.
We've done a lot of different kinds of Davies. We've done so many Davies. Gay for Davy.
Gay for Davy.
Hashtag gay for Davy. I ever tell you that when hashtags, I didn't know what hashtags were for like the longest time.
Why?
I didn't get them. I didn't understand them.
Oh, I kind of...
Like when Twitter first started, it was probably end of high school for me. When Twitter started to pop off. Like I had one since 2009, but like I never used it until like after I graduated.
I didn't know what hashtags were or how they worked, but I just heard people saying hashtag something or other, and I was like, what?
First of all, fuck people who say hashtag this.
Hashtag real facts right now with Mikey.
Seriously, I do not like people who say that.
I don't. Hashtag something. What about people that say it ironically?
Maybe if they're like playing a character or something.
Like what kind of character?
I don't know, like a really obnoxious teenage girl, like just imitating one.
Often.
You have one in your shirt.
She is. I think she's older than teenage.
I don't know.
I'm taking a close look.
All anime makes the characters look overwhelmingly young,
but it
and quite
gives them bodacious booties, though.
They all look quite
thighs.
Pubescent, if you ask me.
Oh, they always make them like
even
abnormally large, like boobs. Like
even the men look like women.
Androgynous, yeah. Well, that's just the trend lately. Back in the 90s, anime used to be like the men looked like dudes. You know,
I found that a lot
Dragon
of people,
Ball Z, like that kind of stuff. Like the dudes look like dudes.
I found that a lot of the people that I met online that had like anime profile pictures and were just obsessed with it completely, and were in like fan clubs, would turn out to be gay most of the time. Not even joking. Every single one that I've gotten to know.
I want to say that it's not that they turned out to be gay, it's that they figured out they were gay. Wow. Like, they didn't know it, but everyone else knew it.
But it's kind of funny because some of the people that are really obsessed with anime, like, they'll be like, no, I just watch it because I like the show and all that. And I think that some of the characters are, you know, like, sexually provoking, you know, just because of the way that they're drawn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's like the trend with anime now is the really feminine looking dudes that, you know, I don't know. But that's like the way with culture right now is like dudes being like trying to be like cute or some shit. Like look at like K-pop, for instance. They're constantly trying to make the dudes in their bands like look
as young
like,
as possible.
Not just as young as possible, but trying to make them look like women almost to that extent. They're like using the makeup and
I'd probably say they try to make them look more like younger boys than they do women, because younger boys don't really have
some of the shit they make them wear for their music videos, dude. Like they're wearing like lip gloss and like they're towing the line for sure. But yeah, but it's like the culture is kind of
that's kind of a culture thing.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, you know, generally speaking, you know, as society as a whole, we go through like cycles of this because like 60s, look at how the men grew their hair, and you know, the hippie kind of thing took over, and it was like I don't know.
Yeah, everyone had like the really, really long hair.
Everyone played acoustic guitar, and it was like all this really like willowy little like, ooh, we just love peace, man. And then like the 80s was like very masculine, like mullets and leather jackets and like, you know, crushing beer cans on your forehead kind of thing. Right?
Heavy metal, dude.
And that kind of carried in the 90s, and now I feel like we're cycling back to late.
Yeah, but kind of a more aggressive form of what was going on in the 70s.
Yeah, it is with a
modern
the
twist.
Advent of the modern fuckboy.
Yeah,
has completely changed the way that we perceive attractiveness. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Some girls maybe they'll go after that. But
I know.
I think most girls just want like a honest guy.
I mean, most people want an honest person. It's not exclusive to men or women. I think when people get down to the brass tacks of it, that's what they want, you know.
Do you think that women can kind of be like the, like the good guy posts on Facebook where it's like, oh, you don't like me because you're just interested in all the studs. Do you think women can also kind of be like that? You know, you're interested in all the jocks. You don't know a nice guy when you see one.
Wait, time out. Wait, what were you saying? I zoned out for a second when I drank my coffee there. Explain it more slowly. Sorry, I was like.
I said, do you think girls can be kind of like the friend zoned nice guy?
You mean
that
like
some guys
like
can
they'd be like
nice girls?
Nice girls.
Yeah,
those absolutely exist. Just as there's always opposites to.
Because nobody ever talks about that.
Well, I feel like they, I don't want to say. Okay, no, I'll say it. I feel like we as a society are more willing to put up with women's shit. So that kind of stuff is not going to attract a lot of attention. Like then you have the neckbeards and the nice guys are going to attract attention because they're so freaking annoying. There are opposites to that in the female group. You have in the women's sector. Apparently, female is degrading to some people, so I'll say women. They have leg beards. Apparently, it's like the opposite of a neck beard.
They grow out their armpit hair.
I think they don't shave their legs. It's just a joke because like a lot of neck beards don't even have neck beards. It's the way they act. They'll wear a fedora. They'll be like, they have a certain kind of. They act so stereotypical to that category that you can spot them from a mile away. Fedora is a dead giveaway of that. But apparently, yeah, there's female versions of that, and I feel like there's female versions of nice guys, but there might be less because men are probably more willing to settle for whatever they can get. So there's be less. Women kind of have a pick of the litter when it comes to relationships.
Yeah,
as long as you're, you can be average.
Isn't there like an overwhelmingly disproportional ratio on Tinder of men to women?
Yeah,
I think I heard that.
So like, there's a lot more dudes apparently. I wouldn't know, but apparently there are. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it either. Men are. We were just listening to that. That stand-up bit he just did, we listened to Owen Benjamin talk about how men will, when they're looking for whatever is available, they see all this stuff around them. Women are more selective.
Yeah,
but men, the way that our sexuality is, we're just like always firing on all cylinders and looking for like anything.
It's super instinctual.
We're just, they're marking up with like a, Springfield rifle, like scoping it, and dudes coming out dual wielding Uzis and just knocking down whatever they can find.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. The women are kind of like precision snipers, and some guys are like gangster thugs, just spraying with Uzis and shit, right?
Whatever they can hit, man.
Spraying and praying.
I don't want to, but yeah, that was I don't want to steal his joke. Owen Benjamin is a stand-up comedian.
Hey, just give
people should
just give creds, man. Shouts out.
Owen Benjamin, great comedian. Shouts out.
It's funny because Fitzy's gonna be on soon.
Yes. What does that have to do with it?
Shouts out.
That's his thing. That's right. I thought it was a joke. It was funny. I thought it was a joke, and then I've heard other people doing it since then. The shouts out thing with the,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that thing is Fitzy's,
Yeah.
the chest pound with the.
Yeah, I won't take that.
That's Fitz's, but apparently other people do that. I thought it was ironic, but like as soon as he said it that first time and I heard it, I've been seeing it everywhere.
I haven't seen it.
Have you heard? They have a terminology for things that you see or learn for the first time, then all of a sudden you hear and see it everywhere. It's like this phenomenon. It's not actually a phenomenon. It's just like your
brain. There's probably a psychological name for it.
Yeah, there is.
There's a
some dude
psychological name for
it.
everything.
He's, but it's like, yeah, you hear a fact about sharks or something that you like read in an article, and then you get on Facebook and the first post that you notice is like somebody talking about Shark Week.
Yeah, I get that sometimes.
It's crazy. And really what
it's like learned observancy.
All it is your brain stores a lot of information, but it only gives you access to the stuff that's like you can use, right?
Yeah, that's most relevant.
Yeah, it's like your RAM versus your, hard drive or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So like it's processing all this stuff, but it only picks out the relevant things that matter. So you learn about one thing and then it appears. And really it's just your brain was storing it the whole time. You just didn't see it, and now you're starting to pick it out because it was fresh in your mind. So happens all the time to me.
Yeah, you had me thinking a couple podcasts ago. I don't know if you actually talked about it, but you're talking about how thoughts are like holograms or they are holograms. I don't remember which one.
It was it has to do with the holofractal theory, which is like a theory that there was a like our world is just like a projection on a flat surface. The universe, everything is like a projection that you're only seeing like 3 dimensions of it, but if you were in the 4th dimension you could see more of it. Because anyways, before I get into that, I'm not going to get into that, but memories they found out, they were trying to figure out where memories were in your brain, so they kept shutting off specific parts of the brain and then trying to see if someone would forget something. They actually did it to mice to try and get it to forget how to get through this maze or something they taught it to do. No matter what they did to its brain, it always remembered how to get through the maze. Whether it was limping or whatever, it eventually got there, and so they're like, okay, so we have for the longest time, the theory was there was a point in your brain that like stored your memories, like a specific spot, but they couldn't find it. So, for now I don't know if they've done more research with that, but
it's almost like the brain as a whole kind of just remembers everything.
Which is crazy because they can't really figure out what part of the brain's doing it. But like memories are there and they can be accessed, but like they don't know what part's doing it.
That's probably why amnesia is such a mystery, It's like someone hits their head and then they forget something, or they forget like half of their life.
Yeah. It's
I haven't heard a lot of documentation on amnesia about how to treat it. It's kind of just gotta live with it. I think it's always
been like just putting someone through repetitive processes until it just starts to function normally again.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like psychological ways to help with it, but
as far as medication or something,
I haven't heard anything about like the science of it.
Yeah,
I haven't really researched it, but it sounds interesting. If there is a lot of like interesting things about it, how it works in with the brain and memories, it just seems like it's all kind of tied together.
Yeah, and it's kind of mixed in with certain things like trauma can induce certain types of amnesia, or obviously brain damage is probably the main contributor to it. But people can get like amnesia just from like having a really like similar to something that would be like PTSD or something like that, where that takes them back into a moment. This would be their brain like literally shutting down a memory because it is too like they don't know how to cope with it mentally, so it kind of like erases it or just kind of shoves it to the back so you can't think about it or stuff like that. It's interesting stuff.
Yeah,
actually,
it really is.
Suffered from like mild amnesia, like when I went to the hospital a number of years ago. Like I'd gone so long without like sleeping, and because of just some issues with anxiety, I couldn't sleep for like days, and eventually like you start to just forget things and you just can't remember them. Like you try really hard. Like I couldn't figure out how to drive to, like I couldn't remember my route to work, like how to drive there. I like was having trouble like imagining the layout of our town.
Wow.
Which is like a really silly thing, but like it was like really like,
I'm sure that
it was frustrating.
So frustrated. Yeah.
It was like, cause I'm like, I know this, it's kind of weird, but I mean, that was it was just that for that short time before I ended up, getting treated and sleeping. So, and then it went away, but I wouldn't want that to ever happen again. It was weird.
Well, I think I'm gonna take a short intermission break here. I don't know about Jason.
I mean, if you need to, man, do what you gotta
Take a
do.
short intermission. We'll be right back.
Oh, we'll see you in a bit. Well, I just don't think that.
I mean, it takes a little
I'm
bit
thinking
of
about
time.
the science behind filtering something through stuff to make it clean. It couldn't do that process instantly, and I feel like Brita's full of shit.
It's just quick.
Yeah, probably quicker than what we have, because what we have is
It's super
is
slow, and it's starting
not
to taste
quick.
It's starting to taste like chlorine too.
Is it?
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
haven't really
Kind of gets that
noticed.
smell too.
Hello.
We're back.
Sorry, I had to, no, it was actually running for the last 15 seconds, but I had to test it because it looked like it wasn't for a second, but I think it is. It just looks quieter than usual. Maybe it's because we're being quieter today. It felt more relaxing to do it this way.
It's low energy podcast.
I mean, it's not low energy because like it's more like just toned down a bit. You know, I feel like people would enjoy this. You know, with their morning coffee.
This is NPR News.
We're talking really close to the microphone right now, so you can hear us right in your ear holes. Buzz, buzz.
Buzz, 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 buzz.
I think it's just because I'm not doing any memes, is what it is. And I'm fine with that because I was actually enjoying this. I guess, you know, that was a super long intro. Not really an intro, but it's episode 11 of the Amused with the World podcast. And I'm your host, Jason Hartzler.
Mike Stifler, as always.
Mike Stifler. Nice to have you here, Mike. What were we talking about before you went to the bathroom? We were talking about something, right?
Nope, we weren't talking about anything before I went to the bathroom. Nope. Nothing I can remember.
I mean, if you can't remember, I certainly can't remember. That means I'm just gonna, you know, pick the next topic, which is what I didn't get to talk about last week. Ugh. Because you cut me off because you didn't want to keep going because you got tired or something. I was gonna talk about VR. You know?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about VR.
Do you want to? Or
Yeah, sure. I mean, I had a great experience with it. So.
Did you? I mean, you already experienced like the Google Daydream, right?
Yeah, that's really
you have
nothing,
that,
though.
don't you?
Yeah, I have that.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's all right. It's not as good as the PSVR because I mean, you only get one controller.
Yeah.
So it's
Plus,
pretty
the
responsive
Daydream's
though.
just kind of like it's like a add-on. It's not really like its own thing. It's like, yeah, there's stuff made for it, but it's not like it's gonna be like, you know, top of the line. It's like bottom end kind of stuff.
Well, you get about 1080p in both eyes because the phone's divided up into two sections and my screen's 1440p.
Okay.
So I get two of those.
So
The phone's actually
would it
doing
be
all
like
the work.
720 by?
Nah, it's like 900 because 2560.
Or is it 960? Sometimes they go down to.
I think
Or is it
it's
900? 900.
2560 by 1440.
Okay.
So it's, you know,
Nice.
it's pretty good. It's about on par with PSVR. I mean, I'm sure when it's not playing that game that's like really demanding, it can output a little bit better. But, you know, it's all right. I played this one Moonlander one that was pretty good. I still have it installed.
Did it feel like what the VR, like when I say VR, PlayStation VR, did it feel like that one? I feel like that one adds a lot with the 3D sound.
Momentarily, but I feel like there's a lot more depth with PSVR.
Yeah, granted, it's the only virtual reality system I've used. So I have no basis here.
Yeah, I haven't
But
really
I
used
was
much either.
the first time I tried it, I was blown away.
Yeah.
Like you walked in on me when I like just standing. I was standing in a room. It looked like a mausoleum, and there were like lights flashing by me, and like the sound was like literally because of the 3D. You know, you got your 3D sound, so it's like literally sounds like it's passing by your right ear, your left ear, depending on where the light's coming from, and it just like I'm looking around. I'm like no longer in our apartment, just like in a different world, and it did blow me away a little bit. Now, granted, the resolution is not the best. You know, you're not cooking with all the onions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Yeah, they have VR headsets now that are 4K in each eye.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like,
it's incredible.
yeah, I think I'm getting after the next paycheck, I'm going to get a PS4 Pro. That should up the resolution quite a bit on most games. I don't know if it doubles it, but it can get up to like, I don't know if any games are running at 4K, but they're going to be running at
At least
well
1080.
over 1080. At least 1080, 60 FPS. For VR, everything has to run at 60 FPS no matter what, anyways, I think. That's why some of the resolution's really bad, because a lot of times when you make a game, you either have to sacrifice resolution or your frames per second. And with VR, you can't sacrifice frames per second, because that's how you get motion sickness. So,
And that's, you know, one thing that kind of turns me off a little bit about at least console VR is, you know, some games are limited if you don't upgrade to like the PS4 Pro or the new Xbox high performance model. And that's why if I would ever get a VR setup, I'd do it for PC.
yeah, I mean, I've thought about that.
It's
Plus,
just,
like with the PC one, you can get like the whole room. You can get like the trackers in the corners of your room, and it can literally cross-reference you like in the entire space, which is better,
really
especially
cool.
because the PSVR only gets you this triangle that's about 5 feet wide.
Yeah, you get a whole room.
Yeah.
Plus, you know, you also get games that you can't get on the PSVR because it's a locked platform.
Yeah.
And with PC, you can play games that indie developers make. And, you know, there are a lot of VR games on Steam. There's thousands right now,
Yeah.
which is really cool. Some of them are really, really well made.
Yeah, people are really getting behind it. I mean, it's exciting.
I mean, look at Gabe Newell, the CEO of Valve, just kind of took a sudden direction and partnered with HTC to make a VR headset and controller. It kind of shows how industry leaders are kind of recognizing it as a dominant force in the gaming industry, and how that's kind of how the industry is shifting, is to a more immersive gaming experience.
It's kind of weird to me, though, because I've never seen, as long as I've been following the industry, I've never seen them so collectively and wholeheartedly get behind something that isn't immediately catching on. I'm not saying that VR is not popular, but it's certainly not a mainstream idea, if you know what I mean.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's so interesting to see the industry leaders in all of the fields almost collectively, even if they're direct competitors, banding together to push it to the forefront of gaming. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it almost feels like they're forcing it to happen, which is not a bad thing for gamers, but it's kind of a weird thing.
I think they're just integrating it better. I don't know if they're forcing it.
I don't mean that they're forcing it as in other things are taking a back seat to it. I just see them like putting money into it, even though they're netting a loss. Like, they're really trying to make it succeed. Like, they're trying harder than they have with other things. And it just seems weird to me that there's finally something like that they're doing. I haven't seen them do that as far as gaming is concerned. I haven't seen like the whole industry coming together to try and put something like that at the forefront of gaming. Like, I can't think of one, you know, I guess you had fads like motion controls and all this and that, but they were always like directly competing. They weren't trying to work together. With VR, it almost feels like everyone's trying to work together.
Yeah, because we got it on PC, console, tablets, phones, you know, you name it.
And you see any of their comments on it, you know, whether it's Yoshida with PlayStation, or if it's the dude who's doing Rift, Oculus, what was that? Palmer Lucky?
Well, Facebook owns it now.
Yeah, right. And then, you know, the Vive, even, you know, Microsoft commenting on it. They don't have a VR headset yet, but I'm sure they're working on something. But they've commented about.
I thought they had their HoloLens.
They have their HoloLens, but that's AR. It's augmented reality. Yeah. It's not quite the same. But like, these guys are talking to each other, and it's almost feels like they're really collectively pushing this forward. So
if three industry giants could all come together to make like one amazing VR setup that was like affordably priced.
That's the problem is you have three giants come together and make one, then they monopolize it, and then the price is gonna. It has to be. It's weird because it has to be financially beneficial to them and good for the consumers. So it's weird when I see these guys banding together because I'm like, not only are they competitors, but I should say they are competitors that are banding together, and that's weird to me because they want to grow the user base, but at some point they have to compete with each other too over the users. But it almost feels like they haven't quite reached that point of competition, so they're just all together trying to build the user base first.
Yeah,
so
because
that
it's such
then
a
they
new
can farm
technology.
From it. Yeah.
It's so new that they kind of have to get it off the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
now that you see kind of smaller Chinese manufacturers kind of entering the market into VR, just as their own independent companies, just making them electronics companies. It's kind of showing that the whole industry is kind of accepting VR as a legitimate gaming platform.
yeah.
I mean, not that it hasn't been around for a while now. It's just that more recently, in the past couple of years, it's been a lot more mainstream.
More mainstream, absolutely. Here's a weird thought. Do you think TVs are going to become less popular the more popular VR becomes? Because not only is VR becoming a gaming alternative, it's also becoming an alternative for people to watch media because it's just it's non-intrusive for other people in the room. You don't think it'll
I don't think so. I don't think so because, I mean, for one, who wants a flap? Like a big plastic flap on their face to view TV. I know it's more immersive, but sometimes people have comfort in mind. Not to mention
some
how the
people
industry
use it for comfort. Like, I mean, even the other day, I was like watching something. I had my headset on, and it wasn't like VR. I was just using it as a screen. And when I see the technology get there to the point where you're just like putting on a pair of glasses, or maybe something that's just like not as intrusive as a whole headset, it's just gonna be this small little lenses. I'm assuming that
I don't think that producers and manufacturers will stop making TVs.
No, I'm not saying they'll stop, but could you see them, the consumers themselves, passing on televisions and moving to just
I don't think they would
VR.
Because manufacturers are still improving television technology by making it flexible, by making it flat or smaller, easier to mount on the wall. So if manufacturers are constantly improving a product, that would kind of be a sign that consumers aren't stopping buying TVs.
Yeah, I don't think consumers are. It was a thought as VR becomes more mainstream and not just
I think
an option for gaming, or
I think maybe it might be an augmented version of that. Maybe not quite just no more TVs, but maybe something projected. Maybe something,
I could see like just lenses with projections on them,
but really advanced, really high definition, crystal clear stuff that you can put on almost any surface, stuff like that. I think that's where it will head. I think we'll kind of get away from the big bulky black box sitting on your entertainment stand.
Yeah, definitely. Here's one reason I could see it happening. It's because we're already seeing this with streaming services that the idea is that they're pushing, not necessarily that they're pushing, people are consuming this too, is that all forms of media are available on all these different devices, so everyone is capable of watching whatever they want, whenever they want, despite what other people in their family might be watching. You've got one person that's on their phone streaming something, another person that's on the laptop in the den, and then another person watching a TV. And I'm like, eventually we're all just going to have our own pair of glasses with projections on them that are going to be whatever we want. You just click buttons or look one way or the other, and it, you know what I mean? I could see it happening because that's kind of the way that they're I don't know what the word is. I feel like it's going that direction eventually. I don't think it's going to happen in the next 20 years, but maybe in the next half a century.
For me personally, I would be more accepting of it as something that I would view all my media on if they slimmed it down quite a bit. If the weight was reduced to the point where I can just kind of slip it on and not have to fuss with it to get it to fit.
I could see us eventually just losing phones, and that would just be gonna have like a little earpiece with these glasses projections,
Yeah,
and you're just gonna like click a button, talk to whoever. You just ask it, be like, talk to so and so, and you're gonna have all your crap's gonna be right there. I could
take
see
a
it
picture
happening.
by blinking twice or something.
I
Kind of
mean,
like how Google Glass.
We've all watched Minority Report. We've seen the future. We know what's gonna happen. So
Minority Report.
yeah, that was a good movie, man. Sorry, I
a
don't
good
want to
movie.
derail this. This is a good.
It was a good movie.
But yeah, I don't know. It was just a thought I had just now, literally.
Just been thinking about the future lately.
Dude, it terrifies me. So yes, all the time. Actually, high anxiety, man. I'm always thinking about it. That is some good coffee.
It's a big drink of coffee.
Yeah, it was. It was a nice wholesome swig. That does bring me to probably my last point. I went to Columbus this past weekend because I was going to. I really wanted to see my friends in Columbus. It had been a while. So I said, hey guys, what are you doing this weekend? I'm going to come down. And they're like, yeah, we're free. So I go down Friday night. I bring my PlayStation VR with me to show them. And I think they got a kick out of it too. Yeah, and we had a couple friends over Saturday night this past week, and they enjoyed it too.
Well,
one of them did. The other one
enjoyed it.
I should say that
the other one was just a party pooper.
It's interesting because she didn't enjoy it, but I think that I had Kyle's girlfriend, Kate, had her try it out. I think she enjoyed it though. She did the there's this one demo where you're like dropped into water.
Yeah, the shark.
And you like go all the way, and then a shark attacks your little cage, and she was like freaking out. She's like, "This isn't a big deal. This isn't a big deal." Oh, and so, but then she had to leave. But she got a little taste of it. I think she enjoyed it.
Kind of like the scene from Back to the Future where Marty goes across the theater and the big shark hologram comes and fake eats him.
Exactly.
Kind of like that.
He was exactly.
I just thought of that because it's so relevant.
It's so relevant right now because we're talking about the future and we're talking about VR, and it was Kyle had a ton of fun with it. Part of the reason I brought it down is that like I texted Kyle, I'm like, look, dude, I just got a PlayStation VR, and there's this one demo that's a shooting range where you use the move sticks and you're like shooting at targets, and it's so much fun. And he's military, and he's a Marine, and so he enjoys shooting guns. He's really good at it. So like I gave him those sticks, and he had it figured out. Like game one, like it took him like 2 tries to beat my scores. 2 tries. Like he had never even used this headset before, never used the move sticks before. His first time playing this game, and he was just immediately like lights out. He wasn't as good as you, but you're used to first person shooters. You're really good at them. And he was just knocking them down. I was really impressed.
Yeah.
No, but he had a ton of fun. He's like, this is pretty awesome, dude.
You think he might get one?
Nah.
No.
I don't think it's their thing. Like they enjoyed it, but I couldn't see them buying it. That's a lot of money.
They don't game a lot, do they?
I mean, they do. Kyle uses Xbox mostly. Matt doesn't really game. Like, not really at all. It's he can play video games. He just doesn't really do it. It's not his thing,
Yeah, sure.
But he did try it out. He tried out the other demo, which was the alien one, where you're like,
oh yeah,
you use the controller still, and you're.
Yep.
But he started to get motion sickness after like 15 minutes. So he's like, he took the headset off. He's like, dude, I can't do this. He's like, this is awesome, but like my head is starting to spin. So like someone else needs to do this right now. I was like, okay.
I'm so pleased with myself that I didn't end up getting motion sickness while playing
How long were you playing it for, though?
Well, you know that break that you went to go get food, and then you came back?
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes beyond that.
Yeah, I think I played
so
for...
maybe like 11,
I played
12
from
minutes.
the beginning all the way to the point where you get to the big ship, and I started climbing up the ship. So I probably played for maybe 25 minutes before
I think
it really
Austin
started
kind
to
of
set in.
took over once I got to like halfway up the platforms. Yeah. So... I think he got a little sick too.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
I think that's that game. This demo. Sometimes VR does this thing where they put blinders on the side of your peripheral to help tunnel your vision, so that your eyes don't get stressed out. This game didn't do that at all. Like there was no blinders at all, and I feel like that's where the motion sickness really comes from, is that there's nothing tunneling your vision when you've got your whole peripheral like that in a video game and you're constantly looking around. Gravity's changing, like it hurts your head.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I
get
started
that.
to get. I mean, I didn't puke. I was good after like 30 minutes of like just laying down, but hopefully that's not as bad with Skyrim.
Yeah, I heard you're super pumped for Skyrim.
I am.
I am stoked, my dudes.
I'm very excited. It comes out in about 2 weeks ish.
Are you gonna order a hard copy of it? Or are you gonna download
I
it?
did. I pre-ordered a hard copy on Amazon the other day. I got like 20% off for Amazon Prime and
Wow.
free shipping. So yeah, this is the third time I've bought Skyrim.
Luckily, I've only
Actually,
bought it once.
Yeah, 3. I was gonna say maybe 4. No, it's 3. But
I bought all the Skyrim games on a Steam summer sale on a bundle for $10. So that's my experience with Skyrim.
I don't feel like
At least
it's
buying it.
that bad of a deal simply because
Well, I know it's a new game.
it's going to be like a whole new experience, because it in VR it's going to be completely different. Like even if they didn't include all the downloadable content with the game, I would still feel like I was getting my money's worth, just because like even going through everything you've already done, it's completely different experiencing it in VR. So I don't really mind it, the price being like full price when it came out, or when it's going to come out, because I think it's worth it.
I can't wait to try it out.
Are you going to?
I want to try it out, yeah.
Luckily, that game does have like a lot of different options to like change your vision and how to move around and stuff, so you can make it really comfortable for you. Like I'm probably going to have like my blinders fully on, just tunnel vision, because I will get sick, especially if I'm playing it for hours at a time, which I probably won't be capable of.
I'm excited to try out the bow mechanic
Dude, that is...
and swords, just cutting someone's head off. Be awesome.
Yeah, apparently everyone says the most fun part is like all that like tomfoolery you used to do in the original game is amplified and so much more fun now, because you're doing it with the motion controls. Like picking up, walking into someone's random inn, picking up an apple and beaming them in the face with it is completely different than just doing it with a controller. And I can't wait to just pop someone in the eye with a cabbage. Like I'm ready for it. I really am. Take a bucket, put it on a guard's head, walk away, maybe shoot an arrow into the bucket.
They gotta have cheat codes.
Now, unfortunately, there's not going to be any mod support.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Cheats with that game, VR.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine VR Thomas the Tank Engines falling from the sky? Have you ever seen that mod?
Yeah,
Can you imagine that in
hilarious.
VR? That'd be terrifying.
Mm-hmm. I've seen also some mods where they changed some of the dragons to Thomas the Tank Engine.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's the same mod. They changed all the dragons into that one, and then they summoned like a bunch of them with like command prompts. They just like brought like, and there's like coming out of the sky. There's like 500, and they're playing the music too.
There's this video by a guy named VideoGameDunkey on YouTube.
I know.
Do you watch him?
I know VideoGameDunkey. Hey guys,
It's VideoGameDunkey.
I just finished playing this little game called Skyrim.
I'll have the spaghetti and meatballs.
Have you seen him?
Yeah.
A lot of people always thought he was black. He's just like this short, fat white dude.
Yep.
He looks just like a nerd too. But he's got a voice like this.
He's so funny. His voice, his personality. I saw him on the H3 podcast recently.
Yeah, that's where I saw him like for the first time.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah,
I saw his first reveal video that he made on his channel. Like his face reveal.
How long did he wait?
It was like a couple 100,000 subscribers. That was it. Everyone was so shocked that he was not black.
Yeah,
There were
he has
a
a
lot of
really deep, I don't know,
It's
voice.
not as
It's
much
not as,
deep.
like,
It's more
deep. It's
interesting.
the intonation of his
Yeah.
voice. He sounds very, I don't know, a good way of putting it. He sounds like he's from Jersey.
It almost it almost sounds like he's trying to make the voice, but he's actually not.
He actually just sounds.
It's just
like
how he
that.
talks.
Yeah,
it's just really interesting. I got nothing bad to say about Dunkey. Shouts out.
I used to hate that dude and his videos. It just seemed so pretentious and pompous because he seemed like the first like 20 videos I watched of his were all like front page posts on Reddit, like people just like
he's really
circle jerking
now.
about how great this dude is, and he just hated on everything. Like every video was him hating on something and talking about how great something else was in comparison. I was just like, this dude just comes off really pretentious.
I don't find him pretentious because most of his videos are satirical. Yeah. Most of them are. When he makes like he says like Knack 2 is like the best video game
I know
ever.
that's obviously
like that. Those types of jokes he makes those all the time.
Yeah.
Most of his videos, except recently he's been making more serious ones on like movie reviews and actual game reviews instead of just saying like 2 out of 10 bad rope mechanics or something like that.
Yeah. 2 out of 10 bad rope mechanics.
Yeah, something like that. You know, he's actually being serious about his reviews now.
Yeah. I know.
I respect that.
You
gotta mature.
I enjoy his content now more than I did then. My brother told me to give him a second chance, kind of thing, because my brother really liked him.
Yeah.
And so I started listening to more of his stuff. And I started to enjoy it more. I think it was more that I was fed up with the overall pretentiousness of the gaming community online, which I've tried to shy away from, become less involved in, because they just find any reason to criticize something. So when I saw another person like being overly critical of all kinds of things, I'm like, oh god, it's just another one of these people that's just a try hard.
Yeah, you just assumed.
Yeah, I was just like, this just epitomizes what I'm annoyed with. And no, I enjoy it now because he, I respect his work a lot now. I was annoyed with it at first though, for sure, but
I always loved him.
Always. He was your number one. Oh, he was my number one, so I made him my number one. I volunteered. So. But yeah, I'm. Sirens.
Whoop whoop! That's the sound of the police.
In the night sky, like shooting stars. I could really use a wish. No, that was. Yeah, I am very stoked for Skyrim. It's coming soon. I'm probably gonna buy a PS4 Pro just for it. I might try it on the regular before I go ahead and just upgrade to a Pro. If it's good enough on the regular one, I'm not gonna spend an extra $300 for. I'll probably need the Pro though. It says a lot when they're not really demoing it on the original PS4. That it's probably not a good build. So. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for it.
We will await that.
We're going to notch arrows all night and kill deer. Honestly, I'm going to use it as a hunting simulator. Because like they changed the mechanics of the bow. You don't just click a button. Now you actually have to like notch your arrow in your bow. Click the button, hold it, pull back, and then release the button to fire.
Wow.
Kind of insane.
I hope that's not buggy.
Apparently, everyone that's demoed it so far says it works pretty well.
I hope once you get it to a certain point, it like snaps in for you.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice.
It is probably. It's not going to be like, ooh, you were off about half a centimeter to the right. It'd be sweet if you could just take the arrow and just stab someone with it, like Legolas in Lord of the Rings, just stab someone in the eye, then notch it and shoot it in
I
their
can't
face.
wait for the day where you get like a VR glove,
dude,
where you can move your fingers around. They're all tracked.
Yeah,
that will be interesting.
I'm pretty sure they already have prototypes of that, just not like a product they're selling. Like people have started like that kind of thing.
Once they get to that point, I'll start. I feel like
Nintendo actually tried to do something. I forget what they called it. They patented some technology called like the Mega Glove or something stupid like that.
Nintendo.
And it was like back in the 90s, and it never.
No,
yeah,
it was just a piece of crap.
No, it was awful.
What didn't you like point to stuff on your TV screen?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Dude, I don't. It was in the 90s.
I heard.
So I don't. The technology was just bad. You know, it was like the same kind of stuff you'd get out of a McDonald's Happy Meal now as a toy. You know,
just so cheaply made.
So awful. We've come so far.
Yeah, we really have.
We've come so far to lose it all.
But in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Oh my god. Anyways, this is a good place to stop. I am surprised we made it this far without me dying of tiredness, but also cancer.
I had to put that in there.
I also didn't take a pee break. But that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah. This was episode 11.
Yep. Episode 11.
And we are the Amused with the World podcast. You can listen to us on YouTube, which is what you're doing right now, probably because you don't have a choice yet. We're still working on our website, slowly but surely. If you want to send us news or articles or
nude photos,
if you want to shit post, our email address is amusedwiththeworldpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to shit post. And anyways, that was the episode today. If you guys like what you heard, go ahead and subscribe, smash that like button, share to all your friends.
Smash that like button.
Share to all your millennial friends. Me and Mike are just doing this to try and find friends.
Just having some fun. Just trying to find some new friends.
We're just trying to find friends.
Yeah, we're trying to find some friends.
If you guys want to come over and have a good time.
So, Facebook friends, yeah. Booyah, got them.
Alright, anyways, you guys have a wonderful evening or morning or day at work, whatever you do, and we enjoyed having you. Thanks for stopping by. The most important part. Don't drink I was trying to get the timing down.
I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard and got so far. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it.
Suck a dick, suck a dick, suck a motherfucking dick.
What's your profanity?
Fucking dick.